Okay, greetings at home learners. I've made a video for you guys today to show you a little bit about what you've potentially missed and to make sure that you're caught up. So the first thing that I want to do is just kind of show you where you should be at now. Now, mind you, this robot's been cannibalized for parts, so your drivetrain, obviously, the drivetrain is not on this one, the wheels are not on this one, but everything new for you guys is on this one. So to start with, it's the Cortex. I'm going to pull the battery out so it's not dragging on me. Start with is the Cortex. Now, the Cortex should be right there in the middle of your build. Okay, the battery side should be on the back. Now, until you put the push button on, and really until you put the Cortex on, you don't necessarily have a front or a back. But once you put the Cortex on, this is now the back, and that's where your battery is going to go, and where your bump switch is going to go. Okay, and so that should just be right there in the middle of your build. I like to put the bolts in facing up, so they're nice and flush with the bottom, so the bolts aren't sticking out, and then one nut on each corner. Okay, so then this is the back, and then you've got your battery clips here, and so you can see the battery clips are in with two bolts, one on each side, and these ones it's important that you have your bolts facing down, because if they face up, then they might get in the way of putting the battery in. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a battery that's more similar to what you have. So these are the battery clips. You're going to put two bolts in, each one, and right there on these center steel bars. And you want them really close to the back, okay? And again, you want the bolts facing down, because then what you're going to do is you're going to be able to just pop the battery in, and it'll hold nice and tight, okay? And then the reason why you want this close is because then your battery goes in the back with this little notch. You can see there's a notch on this side, right up on the top. That's the top, and that goes in to your battery port. So I'll flip that just because it's on the wrong side. There you go. And obviously you don't have a lot of cord on this, so you might have to make sure once your battery's in, you will see if now this battery's dead, but you see your lights will start flashing. Plug in this battery here, even though it's smaller, it works too. And so you can see lights start flashing when I plug this in. Okay, and then the next thing is this push button. So that push button there, I have it in with 4. You really don't need 4. You kind of just need 1 in opposite corners. So, focus. There you go. So those bolts, you only kind of need 1 here and then 1 there. And then that's bolted right there to the back, okay? And then if I were to show you the flip side of it, that's, now again, you don't need all 4, you just need 2. It's not going anywhere, I promise you. That's not going to slip away from you. Okay, so that's that. So we've managed to talk about the push button, the Cortex, and the battery holders. And now the push button is digital. So you're going to want to plug it into digital port 1. And now, just to show you here, it's not really in focus, but it's got this little lip on one side of it. That lip goes in this, there's a notch on the Cortex. You see these notches going up this side? You can hear me? I make sure the lip of this goes in the notch there, okay? And another way to think about it is the white cable faces the inside of the Cortex. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and plug it into digital 1, because that's where that belongs. And so you can see it right there. And there's digital 1. And we can see that the white cable is near the center of the Cortex. Okay, so that's how I want that. All right, so that's plugged in. And now we have to talk about our line followers. Okay, so we want to put our line followers in. So you guys should have these things here. So these little T's are called angle braces, or brackets rather. And you're going to bolt those in, just like that. And you can kind of see they're right in between, right? So here's the bar, here's the bar, and then these are right in between those two bars. You see? And they're bolted in the middle row, okay? They're bolted in the middle row, and you can see there's two in between on that middle row. So that should really help you with that. You don't need such long bolts. I have those in there, but you really don't need such long bolts. And that'll take care of that. And then finally, you have your line follower. Okay, and your line follower needs to go in facing down. Because that's what's going to be, it's going to be sensing the ground. It needs to be pointed at the ground to find the line. And so the way that you're going to do this is you'll just put a longer bolt. You need a longer bolt, not a short one. And you can put it right through there. And then you can put it in, just like that. And then just take a nut, screw it in. Now, I didn't need such a long bolt, but that's all right. And then the thing about this is they can wobble back and forth. So I do recommend that you use both tools to tighten them. So you can hold it. Let's see. You see, I'm putting that in, and then I'm going to tighten it with the wrench. So I'm holding it with the Allen key, and then tightening with the wrench. Okay? And that way, I get it nice and tight. And so, if you get it tight enough, it shouldn't really be able to move back and forth. You don't have to over-tighten it. It's really not that big of a deal if it wobbles a little bit. But once you get it nice and tight, it's not going to wobble back and forth at all. And then you end up with something like this. Okay? Alright. So that's the bottom. And that's our robot. And you can imagine it's going along, and it's sensing the ground. And if it gets over a piece of tape, it'll be able to sense that it's over this tape. And of course, I'm not going to do it in this video because it's pretty obvious. It's just the exact same thing. But I put another line follower right there. Okay? So, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Because might as well. I won't take the time to tighten this one all the way, but I'll get it in. So, here you go. Put it in. And again, I said I'm not going to tighten this one all the way, just because it would make the video kind of boring. But I'll put this in, just tighten it up, give it a nice squeeze. There you go. Okay, so you can imagine I'm going around, and as these line followers go over the line, it's going to say, oh, I'm too far to the right, or I'm too far to the left, or vice versa. And it's going to be able to sense that line and drive over it. So that's it. You guys are pretty much up to speed now, so hopefully this helps you. I love you guys. I know it's tough being at home, but just hang in there. You guys are doing great. Make sure you get that code done and send it in. Until next time, enjoy robotics.